else today.
Hey kid.
Deep in the heart of Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, lies the Texas Motor Speedway. This track is a 1.44-mile quad oval, 20-degree banking in turns 1 and 2, 24 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4, and it is a track that will definitely have multiple grooves here tonight. Should be a lot of great racing. I'm certainly looking forward to it. CRN's coverage of the CORE Xfinity Series brought to you tonight for race number 2. And race number 1 certainly had a great number of cars and another good sized field here tonight. Over 30 cars set to take the green flag here tonight. Carl Hamburg joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, Texas is definitely a favorite of mine. It's a nice flowy track here, but turn 2 can certainly reach out and grab you coming off that corner.
Deep in the heart of Texas. Hell yeah, man. I mean, 2 is one of those treacherous corners and you got all that speed coming off the front stretch, kind of like a mini tri-oval. That's got like that little arch there where the small track is for the like legend cars or whatnot. But yeah, it's a great track, a lot of fun in here. I'm in the blimp right now, kind of chilling, looking at the overhead view, and I'm seeing a road course, Carl. I'm thinking we need to get these Xfinity cars on some road racing.
Well, they will have their chance later on in the season. Not sure they're going to be too happy about it, but they'll have their chance at Road America later on in this season, and that's going to be very interesting to say the least. But qualifying is complete here for tonight, and again, we got 32 cars ready to take the green flag. Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and give us a rundown?
Give me a second. We'll get a rundown of everybody out there. Of course, my SDK is buttering. All right, it looks like it's Nico Garcia up on top with Joey Stone, Matthew Freitas, Ethan Workman, Paul Owens for your top 5, and Josh Klinger, Justin Mons, Danny Ware, Chase Waldron, Brandon Pohl, Galen Wunsch, Shane Therian, Kelly Pointer, Sean Dunaway, Daniel Wiles for your top 15. Then 16th is Dustin Phelps, Tal Owen, Joe Sullivan, Dakota Camper, Kevin Foster back there in P number 20, Mike Moultrie in 21st, Dave Tilford, Patrick Cowboy Cooney in 23rd, Joshua Gibson, Charles Gettings, Dan Phelps, Randy Quinn, Casey Phelps, Terry Jansen Jr. back there in 29th, Cheyenne Cada out there in 30th, Joe Merritt and Jeremy Gainey will round out our 32 car field. So a lot of cars on the track tonight, and looking forward to seeing what they can do out here on at Texas. And again, I just want to give a shout out to all the viewers out there, everybody that's supported CRN. We are very, very close to the big 1K, where CRN can will be able to partnership with YouTube officially. So if you're out there, have not liked, shared, subscribe being the key word, help support CRN and all the drivers and all the different series that CRN covers week in and week out.
So I can run through some of the cars here, show you some of the paint schemes before these guys peel off and get ready for 85 laps of racing here tonight. Hopefully a bunch of green flag racing is on tap. They mixed it up a little bit last week, but it was still, it still ended up being a good race out there in Vegas, and ended up putting on a really good show all the way to the end. I would expect Texas to be a little bit of the same out here. Again, going to be 85 laps, so 5 laps longer than last week. But these speeds around here are going to be very quick, and they will run through this race very quick if it does stay green. So, I mean, Texas, kind of like Las Vegas in terms of how you're going to drive the track. But I mean, any difference to here where you're going to be maybe really looking forward to saving tires, because it seems to drive a little bit flatter, especially through 1 and 2, and that's where that backstretch wall can really sneak up there.
Yeah, we're all out of speed carrying through 1 and obviously through 2. It's really easy to burn off that front right. So it's something the driver's going to have to take care of, or you're going to see some extremely fast laps for about 10 to 15 laps, and that's when you start seeing a pretty good drop off. The tire will start getting too hot, be greasy. You'll start pushing to that outside or the exit of 2. So I hope to see these drivers kind of take care of their tires, as we do have a few laps on docket here tonight.
These drivers already getting through turns 3 and 4. We're getting ready to take the green flag not going to waste any time here tonight, and we'll send it over to, well, can't see Barney from there, but we'll see him from here. He has got the green flag in hand. Nico Garcia, Joey Stone on the front row, Matthew Fritz, and Ethan Workman on the second row. Green flag waving. We are racing in Texas.
A good start by the leader, Nico Garcia, to kind of get out front. Takes that high side. I've seen a lot of drivers do it. Usually when leaders do it, usually when they start, they'll move up, kind of take away that run from the outside, and ends up pushing them back a spot or two. Allows P number 3 to fall in a second, and that's what happens here. Matthew Fritz moving up into P number 2, and also the 20. Make it the 25 of Ethan Workman. I want to penalize you. You don't change that number. But you guys are doing a great job out here so far. But something happened in the back. Maybe a bad start with Casey Phelps.
Yeah, it looks like we'll take a look here. Casey Phelps crashing and jumping in the pits, and I'm not sure what exactly happened here on the start, but slow and stopping here on the front stretch and then jumping into the pits. Did not bring out the caution, just a single car incident there. Unfortunately, Cheyenne Kata stuck behind him when that happened. But out front, it is Nico Garcia leading this field. I think you will see the field stretch out here a little bit tonight, as it's a track that, again, the tires are going to come into play, and I think it's really going to mix up the field a little bit, as it's still stuck for some reason. There we go. Get back to Nico Garcia now. But yeah, as I said, it's a track where you got to be conscious of those tires, and it's going to be the factor of what spreads out the field. But I mean, you can't forget about fuel. We've seen fuel more often than not in this series really come into play, and kind of how you play out your fuel ends up a lot of the time determining how you're going to play out your tires. I mean, there's times where guys can stretch out their fuel just a little bit long enough where normally they'd be taking 4 tires at that last pit stop and decide to take 2. So very interesting to see how this works out. But it is Nico Garcia, Matthew Fritz, Ethan Workman, Joey Stone, and Josh Klinger, your top 5.
You see somebody was exiting the pits there. Nico Garcia out front there with Matthew Fitzer, and all the drivers pretty much going single file all the way back to right around 15th or 16th place. They're still battling out, trying to grab those couple extra positions. It looks maybe a few drivers stuck on that outside. See the 13 right now of Galen Lunch. Just kind of stuck out there. I don't know if it's the preferred line at the moment, but usually that's the place that drivers will start going when these tires start wearing away.
Battling on the outside here with Dakota Camper. This is the battle for 16th and 17th. And a couple battles going on back here as we got the 77 of Dustin Phelps on the outside, making the outside work, certainly through 3 and 4. And definitely, you see the same thing from Galen Wunsch up there a little bit in front. So 1 and 2, it is a little bit flatter, and a little bit of a bump there. Camper able to save it, but certainly got together there, looked like, with Galen Wunsch. Trying to take a look back and see what exactly happened right there. Yeah, gets a little help, a little shove there between him and the 13. We will stay green. A good save there by the 21 as he tries to work his way back through the field. But as I was saying, in turns 1 and 2, a little bit flatter, so that outside line you see not working too well as they go 3 wide coming down the backstretch. Turns 3 and 4, a little bit more banking, and that's where you'll see that middle or high line really start to work in a little bit better as you see the middle and the outside line there working back. And unfortunately, Joe Sullivan just kind of stuck in the middle and decides better of it and moves his way behind these drivers as Dakota Camper works his way back up past Galen Wunsch now and back into 18th place. But out front, Nico Garcia still leads the way.
And Nico Garcia just stretching out just a little bit out to about half a second over Ethan Workman. That purple number 20. It's supposed to be 25. and then Joey Stone in the 52, and then Josh Klinger up 2 spots already. See if we have any big movers. We do. Mike Moultrie is up 11 positions from the start. He's currently in P number 10, moving that Red Bull machine up to the field.
Up on board here with Moultrie and take you on a lap around Texas as he sneaks inside the 77 there. The 71 of Brendan Polt. Brendan, obviously one of our broadcasters here on CRN, and decided to walk on down to the track here and join the Xfinity Series for the rest of the season. So may take him a race or two to kind of get his feet wet again here, but certainly has a lot of experience in the oval cars, running sometimes over in Thursday in the official Road to Pro series. So he's got plenty of oval experience under his belt and doing good so far. I mean, we say getting his feet wet, but he's running in 10th place right now, Jimmy.
I mean, it's a big gap of drivers out here, and Brendan has taken the time for CRN and to put in some great coverage there on Sunday nights, and really appreciate his efforts that he has done for us to see. So seeing him out here, getting some laps in and enjoying himself as a driver, it can even build stuff for more content, get out there. But there could be some things that he picked up while broadcasting from other drivers. It's one of those things you sit here and you watch and being a driver of iRacing, you do pick stuff up. You start noticing different lines that drivers are taking. We can even pull up the dashboard and see what gears and maybe the braking, kind of find out more of the braking points and entries. So there's a lot that you can learn up here in the booth, besides putting on a great show for everybody out there to watch, your favorite drivers get around the track here. But definitely good to see that number 71 out on track there with the Brendan Polt, and hopefully he can work his way forward. He would be no stranger to the booth, that's for sure. But Nico Garcia now out front over Ethan Workman, Joey Stone, Josh Klinger, and Matthew Fritz for your top 5.
On board here with your leader Nico Garcia, as we already are on lap 15 here. So these drivers clicking away at the laps pretty quickly here, and unfortunately to see the car up there in the distance, that is Cheyenne Cata, the one that got stuck behind the 17 of Casey Phelps on the start of the race. Not sure what happened to Casey. Looks like they are done for the evening, I believe. Oh no, actually he is back out there on track, but a couple laps down at the moment, and unfortunately it really hurt the start for the 666, as well as she is starting to get reeled in here. But field spreading out just little by little here as we're starting to get a little bit further into this first run. I expect at least 2 pit stops here in the race, so we'll see how far these drivers want to stretch it out, see if they want to split it right into thirds, or if they have some different strategies here. I'm sure if we had Chris Bouchard from UCRL over here in the series, he would find a plan X. He finds
whatever everybody's not doing.
Yeah, exactly. I would hate to see him working for Ferrari, as they have enough trouble figuring out what plan they want to run throughout the race. But it is a good start for all these drivers out here, and especially for the 26 of Nico Garcia, out to a half-second lead over Ethan Workman, Joey Stone, Josh Klinger, Matthew Fritz, your top 5. Danny Ware, Justin Mons, Chase Waldron, Mike Moultrie, and Brendan Polt, your top 10.
Yeah, it's good, even though Cadence, kind of got hung up. And I know definitely as a driver, they're out there trying to, learn more and just kind of get used to it, and just to be out here and get some much needed laps and get around traffic. I think you're gonna see progress throughout the season, especially learning these Xfinity cars, and it's good to have new drivers out here as well as a lot of the veterans. But definitely a rough start for the 666, but not all is done, as you can keep going from here. You never know when that caution's gonna come out. You'll be able to make your way forward But Nico Garcia out front with Ethan Workman, like we said, from the start. And we're on that 19 of 85. I'm not quite sure on how many laps they can go before they come in, Carl.
By the way, good start for all these drivers. We'll try and actually, we have 32, so I should be able to fit all 32 without encroaching too much. There we go. Just sneak them in there before we get to the drivers there.
Yes.
But you see Casey Phelps obviously having that start going down 3 laps, and looks like Jeremy Daney also down 1 lap here from the start of the race, but everybody else still hanging on to the lead lap for sure, as we are on lap number 20 and now completing 20 laps as your leaders catching up to about at the back of the pack. And yeah, as Jimmy said, you know, just a newer driver here to the Xfinity Series. She was in the Dirt Series when we had it here in CORE, but Oval obviously definitely a different monster out here, but trying to get her feet wet across all the you know, the iRacing platforms here in the CORE Xfinity Series. Going to be jumping in the GT Series as well on Thursday nights now that she's got all set up with her wheel. But wheeling it in second place right now is Ethan Workman, the 20/25, going to the inside for the lead. Change of guard at the front, and Ethan Workman has moved his Yahoo number 20 to the front of the pack here. And again, we were already on lap 22, so I mean, this thing is a quarter of the way done already. These drivers not wasting any time. Lap times right around the 30-second mark to you know, for their fast laps. Currently running about mid 31s right now.
Yeah, and their best times being down in the 30.3, so you know, those times are going to fall off just a little bit. They're about a second, a little over a second slower, Carl. So we can see, I can see some short pits happening, depending on them left sides, tires, how they hold up, and maybe some 2-tire stops here, as I've seen done here in the past. So we'll see who decides to go with what strategy as the race goes on. But it's been green, nothing but green here from the start. You know, Casey doing sacrificing himself. I'm not quite sure what happened at the beginning, but sacrificing himself and allowing the rest of the field to go green. So that's sportsman there. You know, even though you had trouble with the start, but just getting off the track, getting out of the way, keeping everything green. You know, everybody else in the field appreciates that. You know, so I'm like, oh, lap 1 caution, what the heck's going on? But yeah, you see it happens because it's racing, but you can see the other side of things where people do care about the others out there driving, and it was very sportsman-like from Casey Phelps.
Well, and a great job coming back out there too. I mean, it's just as easy, you know, having issues at the beginning of the race, lap 1, you know, race barely starts and you're already down 3 laps. It's just as easy to go ahead and all that 4 and get out of the session because, you know, your race is over. But that's not the outlook to have. I mean, at the very least, you know, even if it goes green the rest of the way, you don't get those 3 laps back, maybe fall down a few more laps, you're still out there getting experience, and that's what some of these drivers are out there doing. I mean, there's you know, there's plenty of drivers out here, and plenty of different skill sets, and you know, you need to learn from everyone out there. I mean, even some of the slower drivers, you can, you know, see what they're doing differently, and you know, maybe you find out, okay, well, that's definitely not working, so I don't want to do that. Or, you know, hey, they gained a little bit of time with me there, so let me try that and get a little bit different. I mean, it's one thing that's great about the CORE Xfinity Series here with the divisions. You could be a you know, a really good driver. You're up there competing for wins, top 5s every week, and you know, you'll most likely be competing for the you know, the gold, platinum championship. But you know, if you're one of those drivers that are, you know, mid to back pack kind of drivers, you still have a championship to fight for if you're a bronze class driver. So it's pretty cool with the 3 different divisions here. But out front, it is Ethan Workman, Nico Garcia, your top 2, but we've already had a couple in the pits. Mike Moultrie coming in from the top 10, Charles Gettings, Terry Jansen now in the pits as well. So some early pit stops. I expected them around lap 30, but these guys coming in on lap 26 and 27 here, so should see a pretty big inflow into the pits pretty soon here, Jimmy.
Yeah, and I think that caller by Mike Moultrie, maybe try the short stop here early to see if it works out to his advantage and able to make up some time as he was the quick, big mover to the field. So we know he can work traffic. Now he just has to be careful. As you can see, pit road being busy this time by as Mike Moultrie goes by. Seeing a lock up there at the end of pit road.
So many guys going in and out of the pits. I can't even keep up with what's going on here. But Joey Stone.
I just seen smoke. That's all I see.
Well, we do keep it green here, and Joey Stone was your leader for a bit. Now he's going to bring it in. Josh Klinger right behind him. We're going to bring in the pits as well, as is Kelly Pointer. Right behind him, Shane Therian coming in. Dakota Camper, Kevin Foster, all coming in. Joe Sullivan going to come in. We'll see if anybody decides to keep it out. And there it is. The Cowboy. Keeping it out there for one more lap, and he will not get credit with a lap led right there, as Joey Stone did cross the line in pits before he did. So we'll see if he can come around and get the lap led as he goes through pits this time. But he is the last man standing to come into the pits. Actually, Cheyenne Khan also out there has yet to come into to pit lane. But everyone else has come in. It looks like Nico Garcia will get it done and regain the lead over Ethan Workman.
Some cars trying to go around Cheyenne Kata and almost got into the cars exiting the pits. That was a close one.
You see here, it looks like Patrick Cooney, if his pit stall is short of the start-finish line, that's gotta suck. I mean, it sucks to suck, but no, it looks like he was just past the start-finish line, so he should get credited with a lap plant right there. But back out front, it is Nico Garcia, Ethan Workman, your top two. They've got a second and almost a second and a half gap over third place, which is Danny Ware. Fourth place is Justin Mons. Fifth place with the short pit there, Mike Moultrie up now in the top five. Joey Stone back in sixth. Matthew Fritz, Josh Klinger, Chase Waldron, and Paul Owens, your top 10.
And right now it's currently sitting at 12 drivers on the lead lap, and so a few more.
23. You might have updated for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So 23 drivers on the lead lap right now, and and that could be the case for with people taking the short stops. Oh, the caution flag is out. I don't even have to look when caution flag comes out. I got so many shiny new toys going on here. It just flashes in my face.
Cheyenne maybe trying to stretch out the fuel, did not make it, and unfortunately, this is why having an in-race admin is great, because that right there is not a caution. That was literally what brought out the caution right there. The car stopped as far on the apron as possible, but that brings out the caution. But before that caution came out, take a look. This is Ethan Workman making the pass at the right time here, getting back to the lead. Jump on board and see exactly when this caution comes out, because I don't think it comes out too much longer than, yeah, right there. Caution is out. And
as they went by.
I mean, you take a look, he literally just made the pass. So, I mean, you talk about right spot at the right time. Ethan Workman works his way back into first place. And we do see another bunch of drivers coming into the pits this time here. And we'll see. It looks like a majority of the drivers taking tires on that first pit stop, but a few did not. And one of them being Mike Moultrie there, who's currently now in fourth place, deciding not to take tires on the first pit stop there. But a lot of drivers now coming back in, topping off on fuel. I mean, either way, everybody's going to be coming in and taking another pit stop before this thing is over. But again, you never know. You're going to switch up the strategy a little bit. We take a little bit less fuel on that next pit stop. Maybe you decide to take only 2 tires because of that, and we'll see. I'm not sure how bad the tires are wearing on these guys. You figure you should be able to make it long enough out there that you can technically make it through 2 pit stops without any kind of worries. But you've seen how much slower they were. I mean, they were a second, almost a second and a half slower than their fast time. So can you stretch those tires out before they blow out? Absolutely. But are you going to be slower? Yeah, absolutely. So it's a gamble.
Yeah, it's a gamble because of fuel. So I mean, we already know they're going to have to come back in. We've seen the drivers, they were coming in close to the 30 lap mark. We do have 50 laps remaining here for the races, so yeah, they're gonna stop one more time. And maybe they're at the point where some are comfortable with the fuel, with one more stop. But I think everybody that's coming in right now is kind of like sealing the deal for. They know that they only have one more stop, and so they've just got one more decision to make, one more entry to pit road, and hopefully they can nail it and make it work, to the end if this thing decides to go green the rest of the way.
So Jimmy, question to you: if you get to a situation like this, you're 50 laps from the end of the race, you decide next pit stop, I'm taking 2 tires. That is my locked-in strategy. It's what I'm going to be doing. Do you prefer coming in as soon as you reach your pit window, as soon as you can come in and top off on fuel and make it to the end and take those 2 tires? Do you split that last run in half? Do you run that fuel out as far as I can go and then take your 2 tires? What's kind of your mindset when it comes to those?
It's been a while since I've ever been in those situations, to be honest. But when I was running a lot of, if I was fast or depending if I was just trying to get around the track, I tried to do something different that would hopefully benefit myself. So if it was less time in the pits, I would use that. But if it's that way, it'd probably be better than on the track. But usually when you're in that window, especially for ovals, because you never know what's going to happen, Carl. And with some of the extended racings with the green-white checkers, you don't want to just put just enough fuel in. So doing at least an extra lap or 2 over you usually end up being pretty safe. So you're not in a situation where you're coasting around the bottom of the track, trying to save that fuel to the very end. But as far as fuel strategies go, the main guy I would ask would probably be the man, the myth, the legend, the number 8 that's currently in 11th place, Kevin Foster.
Yeah, home track for Kevin Foster here. Well, real quick, we'll bring in our in-race reporter here. I mean, might as well bring him in and run the caution here real quick. I know you guys are about to go green, but so far, about 50 laps to go here now in the race. How has the race been so far? What do you think the rest of the race is going to be like?
So far, my race has been pretty good right now. I mean, the setup naturally just gets tight on the right front here later on to a run. So we just kind of crank back that bias a little bit. I know it's placebo, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The rest of the race now, we got a caution, maybe. It's kind of a half and half of either a wreck fest or just as it was the previous 35 laps here, just before the pit stops. So, I mean, we got a big group, but a good group of guys here to race here tonight. Hopefully, we can at least keep this green flag streak going, and hopefully, we can get some good racing here for you guys up there too.
We'll throw it back up there. Good luck out there. That was the 71 driver, Brendan Holt, as we are back racing. We'll stay on board here as he gets up through the gears and show you what these drivers are looking at on the restarts here at Texas. You see just
nice
kind of having to feather it a little bit.
Yeah, he had a nice start. The 83, not as good. Chase Walter didn't have quite the start, but 71 did. So you've seen Brendan feather the gas and kind of lose a little momentum, but there's some speed in that 71 here tonight, and he's P number 8 up 2 spots from the start, so doing a fantastic job out here at Texas.
Ethan Workman grabbing the lead on the restart there over Nico Garcia, Danny Ware in 3rd, Josh Klinger, Mike Moultrie in top 5. As Waldron now working around the outside, and you see maybe those no tires not working out there for Moultrie as he is starting to get eat up here. Brendan Polt now going around on the outside. You see Paul Owens had a checkup, moves himself to the outside. It goes through 3 and 4 now, and easily making his way around the outside of the 84 Moultrie. Dakota Camper right there behind the 3 of Therian, looking to make a move as well, and he's going to pick his right spot here. We are back under caution.
Not quite sure what happened there.
And
looks like the 1.
Take a look and see if Gets a little help from behind and gets shot into pit lane. Let's see that one more time.
Not quite sure what that was about.
Looks like it was the 96 or the 196 of Charles Gettings getting up behind him. But yeah, it seemed like the one was slowing up a couple of times. Not sure if he was deciding to come in the pits or what the case was. Maybe he had a penalty that he had to serve. You see the 196 closing in real hard right there. Then it looks like the one gets going again and all of a sudden slows down. So yeah, kind of a strange situation there. But that's going to bring us under another caution. And yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that one right there, but we'll be back under caution here, and we'll see if there's any takers to pit road, as this caution right here will take us to our halfway point already in the race. And for the guys up front, I'm sure they don't mind these caution laps clicking away, and I'm sure the 84 Mike Moultrie certainly doesn't mind the caution laps going by, because under green he was getting eaten up, and you see that 84 taken to pit lane right now. So very interesting, because again, these drivers are all going to have to pit again, but now Moultrie is going to be buried in the field here a little bit, because he's only pitting with a few other drivers, but I'm sure he's probably going to take tires this time in, and then he'll still have another set of tires for that later pit stop as well. So could be back on strategy here, and if this ends up going green until the pit stop, he may be looking at a good pit stop strategy when it comes to tires, so he'll be able to work his way through the field.
Yeah, it's he's got to move to the back there. His teammate Charles Gettings got involved there with Patrick Cooney, and then brought up the caution, but a good break there for Mike Moultrie to get the 84 kind of back in, and we should see the 84 start charging back to the field again as this race is winding down.
I'll tell you what I am seeing,
just over the halfway.
What I'm seeing, Jimmy, is I see a lot of guys 2 laps down, and I think a lot of that is guys having pit road penalties, and I think that was the case possibly for Cooney. Maybe that's why he was trying to come in there to serve it. But I see a lot of guys with some long pit stops on that pit stop around lap 29. So I think maybe some speeding, some unsafe entries or exits could have put those drivers way back in the field at this point. And I mean, you're 2 laps down. It's still a long way to go. Maybe you can make your way back up through there with some wave rounds or lucky dogs. But I mean, a good chunk of the drivers now facing a really uphill battle here. And I mean, all in all, the drivers have pretty much stayed, kind of status quo. I mean, there's definitely some drivers that are making some moves at the front, but for the most part, you don't see any kind of big time movers, other than right now you see David Tilford up 11 positions, Charles Gettings up 11 positions as well, but you don't see those big numbers. You don't see those 20 positions that they're moving up, or 16 or anything like that. For the most part, the top 10 are the guys that started close to the top 10.
Yeah, a little bit of shuffling around going on. Maybe some drivers not having the greatest start that they wanted. A few people dropping pretty big. Joey Stone down 15 spots, so kind of surprising there for the number 52. And some others. Terry Jensen Jr. is up 8. Galen Wunsch is down 11. Joe Sullivan back a couple spots from where he started. So there's a little bit of shuffling around. Not too, like you said, not too much up in the front. Everybody gained a spot or two. With this couple of big names that started up there early, kind of dropping to the wayside. But Carl, we're here halfway through the. We're about halfway through us. Or just past the back of the track there, as we'll be on probably green next time by, not this time, but next time, and we'll get this thing rolling. So it's been a pretty good race so far. A little bit of a couple cautions, just the one where somebody ran out of gas for a misjudgment and fuel calculations, and another one there for I'm quite sure maybe just a pit entry that wasn't called out there, and Charles Gettings getting into the one of Patrick Cooney. But good race so far. Looking forward to the rest of it.
Yeah, your points leader from last week, obviously being Joey Stone, your winner last week, as Jimmy said, down 15 spots, down in 17th currently at the halfway point here. Alan Elwood finished 3rd last week. He was 2nd in points entering tonight, but not in attendance here tonight, so this will most likely, well, it is going to be his drop race, so I don't think you can get any less than 0. Ethan Workman was second place last week, third in points, only 4 points back, but obviously having a pretty good race here tonight, and looking to go back-to-back with some really good finishes, and taking one extra spot here tonight and grab that top spot. Nico Garcia, had a pretty good car last week, but just not enough to get his way up there, and ended up falling back a bit and finishing in at 19th after starting the race in 3rd. So this week, at least so far, hanging up there at the front, definitely has a fast number 26. But we are getting ready to go back to green here. Ethan Workman is going to be your control car. 26 of Nico Garcia in 2nd. Danny Ware, Josh Klinger, your top 4 as we are ready to go racing one more time here in Texas, and Ethan Workman on the loud pedal as these cars will take off one more time.
They're doing a great job, single file there. Brennan Polt falling into Pete number 5. With these drivers, Linus sent a good run there on that. Josh Klinger, so Polt working his way forward, showing that he's got a little speed on the track here as we can get around 44 of 85. But Carl, I need to catch the plane to Iowa and start making sure that we catch up with our drivers over at the Ultimate Conquest Racing League. So we'll see what those drivers can do with the Xfinity cars as well. So I hope the best for the rest of the drivers out here. Obviously, thanks to all the viewers for showing up and providing much needed support here at CRN. But we'll catch you over at Iowa once this thing's completed.
Absolutely. It should be a good battle out there with the Xfinity cars in the UCRL series at Iowa. Close to a short track. I'm not going to call it a short. Well, I guess it is. I guess it is, but I don't want to. We'll talk about it later. we'll talk about it later. We'll see where you fall in regards to it. But these guys here in the CORE Xfinity Series still got half a race to go here, and we still have yet to decide who's going to bring this one down, and the strategy is going to play out the right way, as Mike Moultrie led the field down on that last pit stop and did take tires back there in 17th position right now. Looking to work his way back up forward. He's got Joey Stone and Dakota Camper doing battle right in front of him right now. This is for 15th, 16th, and 17th, and he's starting to be a little bit more too wide racing. A little bit more right there, as again Dakota Camper just not getting the luck, and I think that might have been another situation there with Joey Stone just blinking out a little bit, and then Netcode getting into Dakota Camper. So, man, if you're Dakota at this point, I'm not sure what you're thinking, but you're just kind of a magnet here tonight, and I know that feeling, and it's not fun.
Well, he's a big man of faith, and I think it's one of those times where he let the man take all of the wheel on that one car.
Trying to see if we can bring that up one more time, but not finding it actually possible right here. We'll just look at it one more time, see if the 52 ends up blinking out, and that looks like, yep, right there, blinking out, and contact. Not sure if there will be contact there anyway, but we will keep it green. A good save there by the 21, and he looks to fight another day back there in 21st right now, but his tire is not going to be too happy, as he's going to have to work his way back up through the field. Biggest mover of the race right now, not that much, not even anybody in the double digits. So the biggest one is, looks like Dave Tilford up 8 spots. Tal Owen is the one that is up 8 spots right now, and due to the series this week in lose my train of thought here. He is in the AWG Racing Camp, and he has found himself now inside the top 10 here. So a good run, good start to the season here for the 09. But out front, Ethan Workman leads the way, but not by much. Nico Garcia hanging on to the back. Josh Klinger now, he is up 3 spots and into 3rd place. Danny Ware, Brendan Poltz all the way up into the top 5 right now. So I know we can't show favoritism, but go CRN. Let's go.
I mean, in the booth, in the car, and we're everywhere, right? So, yeah, good job out there from Brendan for us. Not only supporting CRN, but putting on a good show here at Texas.
rest of your top 10 are going to be Chase Waldron, who runs right up to the back of Brandon Polk. Now looks to the inside to get himself into the top 5. Matthew Fritz in 7th, Shane Therian in 8th. Paul Owens just making the pass right now, or at least trying to hold off the 09, who is not going to, as Owen is going to hold off Owens. For the time being, they'll be side by side down the backstretch. You see right behind Moultrie working to the outside of Justin Mons as they head into turns 3 and 4. This is the battle at the back of the top 10 right now. This is 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Throw a blanket over right now. We're battling here again. All these drivers will have to make one more pit stop regardless if they came in on that last stop or not. Very close to contact, and looks like the 09 getting into the wall there a little bit. I think the 84 was far enough off, just the 09 just pushing up off the corner a little bit. But again, we will stay green. These drivers doing a good job. We've seen, a couple bumps and scrapes here and there tonight, but I mean, those I would expect, could possibly bring out a caution, but these drivers have done a great job of saving it, and really it's kind of been 2 dumb cautions here tonight. So I guess can't really complain too much. I mean, we had one for a single car that ran out of fuel on the apron, and another one for, again, what we can only assume as a car slowing down for a pit lane and maybe not communicating the situation and getting tagged from behind as the other caution. So really, 2 single car cautions tonight, and not too bad with this many drivers out here, as we've got 31 laps remaining here in Texas. So we got some time, and these drivers are green flag racing. We'll go ahead and turn the mics off, turn these cars up, and give all the CRN fans out there a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it.
sights and sounds there of the CORE Xfinity Series drivers as we are down to 21 laps to go. The last round of pit stops already underway, and we've seen a bunch of our leaders already into the pits. Current leader right now is Matthew Fritz in the 29, and he's trying to run this thing out a little bit longer. He's got Justin Mons right behind him, who last pit on lap 40, so he's got a little bit more time that he can run out there on the track before he needs to come into the pits. You gotta feel like Matthew Fritz is gonna be coming in here in the next lap or so. Mons has got another maybe 4 or 5 laps before he absolutely needs to come into the pits. So gonna enjoy maybe the lead for a little bit longer here. As take a look and see, it looks like we are gonna stay green. Charles Gedding is getting off track here a little bit, and okay, that was just a blick out, and then little trip through the grass for the 196 here, and a really good save there. Gets back on the track, keeps it down towards the bottom, so nice save there for the 196. But back here live, Matthew Fritz is going to come in to the pits. So Justin Mons is going to be out there. Dakota Camper still out there, as is Kevin Foster, Kelly Pointer, Joey Stone, your top 5. Now Mons going to come down into pit road. And just out there too long because the drivers that have come into the pits are running faster laps by a good margin. So you got to assume that Camper, Pointer, Foster, and Stone will be in very shortly as well. And you see the other cars that have those fresh tires just absolutely eating the other cars up. You see the 83 going by there of Chase Waldron on those new tires, as the 75 and 8 doing battle here currently for second place and third place, but I would assume they're going to be coming in the next few laps. Looks like Camper is going to stay out for another lap, as is Pointer, Foster, and Stone all staying out here. And I mean, again, if a caution comes out right now with these drivers having fresh tires, you see Brendan Polk coming up on these guys with a head of steam. It just takes one little caution right now, and a ton of guys are stuck a lap down and needing to take that wave around as they split Kevin Foster right there. Polk is going to move on by again, that not for position. He is the first car 1 lap down. Camper now into the pits. It's going to hand over the lead to Pointer. Foster right there in second. Stone is going to stay out there for another lap. But this would be lap 30 for these drivers. Again, a few have been under caution, so they may have another couple of laps that they can run this thing out. But going to be coming in here soon, as we are 16 laps until the checker. Just want to thank everyone out there tuning in one more time to see Ryan, and thank you for all the support that you've shown us over the couple years here. And I mean, we're getting there, close to that 1,000. So thank you to everybody that's gotten us to that mark. And again, feel free to put in the chats here who your favorite drivers are, who you'd like to see. Obviously, I know who Barry is rooting for out there. I know who Mama's rooting for out there, and Kim Foster now making his way into pit lane, making his final pit stop. But if you have a favorite driver out there, you want to see more of them, you want us to talk about them at all, don't be afraid to put in the chat, and we'll certainly get them up there on the screen. Kelly Pointer in the pits. Joey Stone is going to be in the pits as well. Ethan Workman and Danny Ware. This is the battle for the lead once this thing cycles out. And Ware is making himself known at the front here. He has 2 lap older tires though than Workman, so Workman is going to get along by. So this is first and second. Nico Garcia right there in third place. So the top 3 pulling away from everybody else. You got about a 2-second gap until you get back to Josh Klinger, who is still certainly in the realm of things here. Top 5 for Chase Waldron at the moment. Mike Moultrie finds himself in 6th place, trying to run these guys down, but a good bounce back here for the 84. Brendan Polk still hanging out there in the top 10 as he gets passed by Shane Thury, and this is the battle for 7th and 8th. Daniel Wiles, first time we see him inside the top 10 here tonight, so the strategy may be finally paying off for the other America Racing driver, now inside the top 10. And then Justin Mons, who has got some of the fresher tires in the field, just coming out of the pits, and he is in 10th place. We'll see how far he can work his way up through the field. Just a brief look ahead on the schedule. certainly one to watch next week as we head to the biggest track on the oval side of the schedule. Obviously, North America maybe being a little bit bigger, but Talladega Motor Speedway or Talladega Super Speedway, I'm sorry. And a 2.5-mile tri-oval is a beast, and it is one that, you know, some drivers will certainly be looking forward to it, as it could be, you know, one of their only chances to nab a top 10, a top 5, or even a win. But certainly a lot of drivers dread it. It is a track that they just look to get a decent enough finish, just get on through. For some, they're looking at it already as, you know, I'm just going to go into it. If I get a good finish, great. If not, that's my drop race. But that is on tap next weekend in Dover. The 1-mile concrete Dover the following week is not exactly an easy one either. It's one that can get really squirrely really fast, especially with these high car counts for the drivers out here. It could get very interesting. And then Kansas rounds out the first half of the schedule, and certainly a favor for some of these drivers out here. But we've got 10 laps to go here. Ethan Workman still showing the way, but Nico Garcia now back in second place and is not letting him go right there behind him and trying his best to run him down. Danny Ware falling back here a little bit, still in third place though. Josh Klinger is slowly catching up to these drivers, but still 2.5 seconds adrift of your leader. In fourth place, Mike Moultrie in fifth. Again, making little headway, but not enough. And it is getting late here in Texas as Ethan Workman trying to grab that one extra spot that he didn't get last week, finished second last week. Would love to grab a win here tonight, but Nico Garcia has other things in mind. He is on the move and almost on the back bumper of the 20. Closest these two have been in a while, and Nico Garcia using everything that he's got now. No sense saving tires anymore. What you got is what you got, no matter what happens here. And we are 8 laps until the checkered flag, 0.2 seconds separating the top 2 drivers right now. But you see the distance right there, not much at all. The question is, looks like he can certainly catch him, but can he pass him? Big run through 3 and 4 there for Garcia. He goes to the outside. Not the preferred line at 1 and 2. What can he do? Can he stay on the outside? Because in 3 and 4, the middle line certainly is not bad at all. You see the 26 trying to kind of back up the beginning of the corner, get a good run off, and he does. Side by side down the backstretch, maybe a little brush to the wall for the 26 as they head down into turn number 3. And now this is where the middle line seems to be a little bit better, especially getting that run off, as they will be side by side off the corner. Give that lap to the 26. Still not complete in regards to the pass, and the 20 of Workman fights back by and completes the pass again. But Garcia gets a good run. Workman gives him the outside again. Looks like he doesn't mind giving up that outside for 3 and 4 because he wants that inside for 1 and 2. Another good run for Garcia here on the outside. Can he complete the pass? A little bit of a bobble by the 20. Tries to get to the corner panel. Not going to happen. Garcia completes the pass. Now, what's he going to do to hold off the 20/25? If you're looking at the time and scoring tower, definitely need to have a chat with Workman about getting the correct number on the car. But he is now in second place, looking at potentially back-to-back seconds, which is definitely a good start to the season, but kind of got to feel bittersweet here as he's led a bunch of laps here tonight. Doesn't want to see this win go away, but Garcia, your pole sitter here tonight, definitely has a fast number 26, and he is trying to stretch this thing out. Already out to a 0.4 second lead. These two are the class of the field, out by 2 seconds clear of Josh Klinger, who now moves himself into third place, as him and Danny Ware still doing battle off of turn 2. Give the slight edge to the 70, and looks like he should be able to complete that pass into 3 and 4, but again, that middle line just has enough grip right there to hold the outside call right there, and Klinger not going to make the pass, and just does slide up in front. So move the 70 into third. Danny Ware still holding on to fourth. Mike Moultrie has certainly reeled in the entire top 5, but not to the extent that he needs to, as we've got 3 laps to go. And Nico Garcia back on the lead in that fresh air. out to a 6/10 of a second lead. Two laps to go at the line for Nico Garcia. He had the pole and led a good chunk in the beginning of the race, but Workman got past him, and it seemed like it was Workman's night here as he led a good portion of the race. But now in the late stages, Garcia just found the right. Maybe he's got a set of match tires out there. Maybe they, Harry finally gave him the right set to finally catch up and pass Workman. But it's paying off right now, stretching that lead out even further, almost a second at the line. White flag in the air. Biggest mover of the race is Moultrie, up 16 spots. Started back there in 21st and now in 5th place. His teammate Danny Wiles up 6 positions in 9th place. Dakota Camper up 7 spots. But certainly not the finish that Dakota Camper will be looking forward to outside the top 10. But certainly the finish that Nico Garcia is looking forward to. Your winner here in Texas, the 26 of Nico Garcia. Ethan Workman going to have to settle for runner-up again this week, finishing in 2nd. Josh Klinger, a good finish here in 3rd. Danny Ware going to finish in 4th. Mike Moultrie, your 5th place finisher. Then you got Justin Mons in 6th. Shane Therian in 7th. Chase Waldron going to bring it home in 8th. Daniel Wiles in 9th. And then the 29 of Matthew Fritz going to bring it home inside the top 10. Started in 3rd, fell back 7 spots, but still bringing it home inside the top 10 here. So great finish by all these drivers, and really, again, 2 caution flags out here, and both kind of weak caution flags, if you want to call them those. So all in all, I think it was a great race by all 32 drivers out here. A few getting some pit road penalties and having to pay the price for it, and finishing quite a ways back and a lot further back than they probably wanted to. But Nico Garcia burning it down here in Fort Worth, as he certainly earned it and deserved it here tonight. So we'll try and get these guys in here for their well-deserved interviews. But, I mean, this was a great race here in Texas. It definitely brought out some of the best of some of these guys. All right, looks like we do finally have our drivers here in here for their interviews. So we'll go ahead and start bringing these drivers in here, and we'll start with their 3rd place finisher here tonight, and that is going to be the 70 of Josh Klinger. And Josh, a pretty good run here tonight. You started up there inside the top 10, started in 6th place, and run up there for most of the race. I mean, you guys had a really good race. 32 cars out there on track, and really the two cautions out there were kind of nothing. I mean, a car stopped on the apron out of fuel, and another one that got punted into the pits, and maybe just a miscommunication there. But, I mean, all in all, for this many cars out there in Texas, this ended up being a pretty good race for you guys, and I'm sure you didn't mind it being up front.
No, it was real clean up front. I mean, I didn't touch another car, so that's always fun to see, especially when you can get tight real easy. Carl, I am sweating and my arms are sore.
Well, that's what we like to hear. We made you work out there, and this is a track. I mean, it's nice and wide, and it makes it seem like you can run 3, 4, 5 wide here. Heck, you could probably run 6 or 7 wide if you really wanted to, but really only a couple lines. And it seemed like the inside lines where you wanted to be in 1 and 2, you could maybe venture to that middle line though in 3 and 4 and make some passes.
Yeah, I never did unless I had a tire advantage over somebody, and that happened during that green flag cycle, just trying to get through. Generally for me, I was, letting off early in the corner, in the bottom of 3 and 4 every single lap, hitting the white line, but not the apron. The key for me, and the same thing happened last season when I finished 2nd of the 21 car, was just not having the car yawed off of 2. If you got any yaw off of 2, your right rear is going to be killed.
Well, you got it home here in third place here tonight, so a good finish here at Texas. Next week, we head to the big monster at Talladega. I mean, what are your thoughts heading into that one? I know that's kind of a love-hate relationship for some people.
I think I've got to defend, so I'm a little nervous. There's a lot bigger field.
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah, it's one that can get very scary very quick. But you guys have been keeping it pretty green here this season. I mean, the first two races now, nothing really, too terrible. I mean, for this many new guys running around each other, you guys got to be happy about the performance so far.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've approached this new season pretty, cautiously, kind of figuring out who we're racing around that's new, and we got a lot of good guys going in. So props to the team over there for getting a full field out. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Well, congrats again on your top 3 here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to thank Tire Tracks Automotive as always, and shout out to the Duke Formula team, the Duke FSAE team. I'm not sure if they're watching this. They'll get a sticker on my car here in a few weeks, but shout out to them for being alumni. And then let's see, I got Oceanside Cleaners out in Jacksonville, Florida, so shout out to them as well. By the way, I'm looking for somebody to do a paint scheme for me, so if you know anybody or anyone listening wants to do a paint scheme, hit me up.
I know you can certainly hit up Parks de la Cruz here in the core chat. He's done a bunch of paints, at least on the road side, but I'm sure he could help you out here on the oval side as well. But we'll maybe see you out there in some new colors, and maybe it'll be enough to look fast, drive fast, right?
That's the goal, Carl. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. We'll see you next week. That is the third place finish here tonight, the 70 of Josh Klinger. Second place here tonight is going to be Ethan Workman. And Ethan, second to start the season. It's got to feel good, but I feel like this one may be a little bittersweet for you.
I mean, obviously it's going to be a heartbreaker leading all those laps and losing the race. But overall, I felt like I had a fun, hard time at the very end. But I still had a fun race. Congratulations to Nico Garcia on the win, by the way. And he gave me a good race. I mean, I honestly thought after that last pit stop I had it won, but it took me a couple laps to get around the 100. Who was on a older strategy on older tires, pitted a couple laps for me. But overall, I had a fun time, and if I had to assume, I'd probably be leading in points right now.
Well, it certainly helps when you got your points leader finishing back there outside the top 20, and second place was not in attendance here tonight. So yeah, it should be a good look for you. I mean, regardless, even if they were running up front, I mean, second to start the season is definitely where you'd like to be. I know you'd like to grab that win and just kind of chalk that first win off the board. But I mean, how do you feel the start of the season's gone so far?
I think the start of the season's going great for me so far. I'm getting the results that I need to be up there in the points. And just as long as I keep going with this, I feel like I can win a championship in this league.
We got Talladega looming next week. What are your thoughts heading into Talladega? Is it one where you kind of settle in and just the chips fall where they may, or is it one that you feel you want to kind of work with your team and get up to the front?
Talladega is going to be an unpredictable race, so I do not know what to expect in that race. I mean, it could either be clean racing, it can go green a while, strategies can go in play, or it can be an all-out big one, wrecks everywhere galore survival race. But I'm just gonna chillax, see what I can do at the start of the race at Dega, and then move on from there.
Well, sounds like a plan. The plan is working so far, second to start the season. So congrats on that second place here tonight. Who are you going to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Once again, I'd like to thank myself for great driving, good result. I'd like to thank all my friends who are probably watching this race right now, cheering me on. I mean, I didn't get the result that you guys probably wanted, but I still got a great result for you guys. And I'd like to thank, honestly, I'd like to thank my team owner, Tolo, in this time. And I am on the HWA team for iRacing. And overall, thanks for the broadcasting, Carl. You did a good job once again.
I appreciate it, buddy, and so did you. We'll see if you can do do a three-peat here and get a second at least at Talladega, or maybe take that one step up there next week.
Hope to see you next week.
That is your second place finish here tonight, the 26 or 25 of Ethan Workman. First place here tonight is going to be the 26 of Nico Garcia. Nico, you started on the pole, led a bunch of laps at the beginning, and Workman got around you, and it seemed like he was kind of the pace setter for most of the race, but you never really let go of him, and it really paid off at the end.
Yeah, I actually got held up by that lap car there, going into one, and Ethan had a massive run. Shout out to Ethan, man. He's such a good driver, and I had a lot of fun racing against him tonight. I was just trying to stay on him. I had a little bit of front end damage. I came off a 2 later on in that second run, and gave myself a little bit of damage. But props to him, running clean and running hard. So that was fun for sure.
So what was going through your mind in the last little run there? I mean, you've been looking at the back of the 20 for majority of the race, and it seemed like you could always kind of keep close with him, but never draw in close enough. And then all of a sudden, you started getting some really good runs on him, and he took to the outside. And it seemed like 1 and 2 was not a good place to be on the outside, but 3 and 4 was pretty nice.
Yeah, I think the big thing that was big, him and Danny Ware, I think got side by side, and we're running kind of hard next to each other, and. I was just like 2 more laps. Like I just need 2 more laps of these guys side by side just to give me a chance to catch up. Cause I was catching them and I was also saving too, with them running side by side. But yeah, I ran before the race, we had some practice. I ran some high side laps in 3 and 4. And, after that, initial 10, 11, 12 lap run, that high side came in real nice. It really, really did. And you're able to just kind of pin it to the floor and, just kind of let that thing, you could pretty much run the fence almost with that thing and just carry a whole lot of speed. And, had a good run on Ethan in 3 and 4 running the high side. And then thankfully, I just, was able to pass him for the lead there.
So you started P3 last week, obviously didn't get the finish that you wanted, but go from pole to the win here tonight. So, clearly got a fast single car speed, and tonight you showed that you got the long run speed as well. So, we got a few just differing tracks. Obviously Talladega next week, which I talked to the last couple of drivers about. But the schedule gets a little crazy here, going from Talladega to Dover to Kansas, and then Darlington and the road course. So what are some of the tracks that are coming up here on the schedule that you're looking forward to, and which ones kind of make you cringe a little bit?
Yeah, definitely Dega. I like Dega a lot. Dega, Kansas. Kansas is my favorite track. I love Kansas. It's always good racing, multi-groove racing. So I'm really excited for that. Honestly, the one track I'm dreading, and I always dread, is Darlington. I am not strong there, so I will definitely be putting in some extra work over the next few weeks at Darlington to make sure this car is fast, and I can compete there. But everywhere else, Dover, even some road course stuff. I've been working on a little bit of road course stuff myself lately, so I'm hoping I could transition, that over to this and go from there, see what happens, man.
Listen, this field is not exactly easy this season. You got a lot of cars in the field and a lot of good talent out there, but you get the win over all of them here tonight. What do you think your outlook is on the championship, given that you do have that drop race, and if it's got to be for that first race this season, how do you feel like you're in this championship here this year?
Yeah, I think we really have a good shot. This 26 car. The first race of the season wasn't my best. I kind of did it to myself, so I like to forget about that one, I'll be honest. But, just trying to stay up front and, try to just be competitive every week, qualify up front, stay up front. I think my pit strategy, has gotten better. I used to have a lot of issues getting to my box and slide through my pit box. So getting better there. And, but yeah, the competition in this league is fantastic. The guys that are fast, they race it hard, they race it clean, and it's fun. It makes it fun. It's good for, it's good for the broadcast and stuff. So that's awesome. But it's good week in and week out for sure.
Yeah, I think we say it at least once every broadcast that passing on track is one thing, but there's so much time to be gained or lost in pit road, whether it's, it's entry, whether it's even just, driving down there, hitting your marks in the pit box. There's so much time to be gained and lost in pit road. And I'm surprised that guys don't take literally half a practice and just work on pit entry and exit.
Yeah, you have to at this point. I followed in Ethan that second round of pit stops, and I tried to get in there kind of late, coming off of 3, trying to get into the pit stop just to kind of close up that gap a little bit. But I mean, still, I mean, he had still such a far gap. He jumped out ahead of me, probably 8/10. Luckily for me, he ran us into some lap traffic there pretty early, so it gave me a shot to catch up. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you got to practice pits, and you got to get in and out of that stall as efficiently as possible for sure.
Well, yeah, and especially with the field as close as it is, and if you want to make your hay, that's where you got to gain some extra time, and you'd be surprised how much you can gain just in and out of pits. But you didn't need it tonight. You got it done here on the track. You made the pass for the lead in the last couple laps, and it was definitely a good run for you here tonight. So congrats on the win. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, for sure. Big shout out to EDE, Elwood Design Esports. Those guys are phenomenal. They put me in good race cars every week. I want to give a shout out to Simrat Market. Those guys are awesome. The reason why my cars look so good every week, I can vouch for that. And RRD, Roderick Racing Development, just give a shout out to him. He's always there to help too, give a lending hand. And then obviously shout out to you, Carl. Put on a great broadcast like you do every week, man. And I'm sure we all appreciate it, and I can speak for everyone with that.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. And you guys keep putting on the good performances, and it makes the broadcasting that much easier for us for sure. So congrats on the win. We'll see you next week at Dega.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
That's your winner here tonight, the 26 of Nico Garcia, and really great run again from all these drivers out here. I can't say enough. It's a ton of drivers out here, and it can easily get fumbled up really quickly. But I mean, again, just a few cautions here and there. Was a really good race for all 32 drivers out here. That's going to do it for myself here and Jimmy at the CRN booth. It's been another fantastic race for the CORE Xfinity Series. Again, next week, Dega looms on the schedule. Make sure you jump over and tune into to myself and Jimmy as we're going to cover the UCRL Xfinity race as they are right there at Iowa tonight. As that should be a good one there on the. We'll let Jimmy decide if it's a short track or not. As it's under a mile, so I assume he's thinking it's a short track. But it was fun here tonight. Hopefully you boys and girls out there enjoyed yourself. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. But for now, we'll see you at the track.